Life can be harsh everywhere. But in the old world, there was no hope of it ever improving. When our crops failed, the ruling class would still collect the same share, leaving our children to starve. And if we had any coin to our name, the taxman would appear, demanding it for the crown. The nobles hid behind the safety of their walls and did nothing when raiders pillaged the outskirts of the city. And so, some of us decided that it was time to leave, that we'd rather take our chances in the wilderness, seeking the promise of a new land, than starve to death in our homeland. The journey wasn't easy. We lost many along the way. But this wild, unsettled land offers us the hope of a new start as the masters of our own destiny.
Well, hello again there, friends and fans. Raptor here, and today is another big day. Our first look at Farthest Frontier, a new settlement colony survival city builder coming on August 9th, 2022 to Steam in early access. We now have access to the beta to take a sneak peek of this awesome city builder survival game that reminds me a lot of Anno 1800, or really all the other Anno games. The game also appears to look a little bit like Endzone: A World Apart, and plays just like Banished and Settlement Survival and Patron and other games that you've all loved on the channel. This game features combat as well, so we can fight as we battle out for survival against elements and enemies and outside threats, which is why there's a giant wall around the city. A beautiful looking game, and I can't wait to get started. So make sure you go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. If you're new around these parts, don't forget to say hi down below in the comments section. And glory to Raptoria as we build Raptoria yet again, our favorite city in Farthest Frontier. Smash that like button too and become a member today and get access to all those emotes and extra perks on the Discord and giveaways and more. Make sure you check all the links down below. Let's go ahead and start ourselves a new settlement here today in Farthest Frontier. Let's go. All right, so we get an option to be a pioneer, a trailblazer, or a vanquisher. That is, I guess, a change of or a difference between our starting materials. So things like starting resources, hunting and wildlife, against hostile forces, and healthcare will be all of our different types of, I guess, advantages and disadvantages. It would look like Vanquisher is probably going to be one of the hardest to play, as it will not really give you a lot of starting resources, and possibly give us maybe a, I don't know, disadvantage against disease, perhaps. Looks like everything you'd want to be here is plus. Looks like Trailblazer is the most balanced, with starting resources, hunting and wildlife, hostile forces, and healthcare being at least what seems to be a 1. So cool. All right, we could name our city. We could do different sizes up to large. Nice. And a pacifist mode too. Pacifist mode disables raiding parties, invading armies, and aggressive animals like wolves and, bears, of course. My arch nemesis. All right, well, let's go ahead and start with Trailblazer, I guess, because that's recommended. But we can check out all the other different starts too. So let's go with Raptoria. Glory, Raptoria. Terrain random. Oh, we can go for lowland lakes, arid highlands, plains, alpine valleys, or random. Let's go with easy environmental difficulty, medium environmental difficulty, medium. Hard for the arid highlands, of course. Well, let's try some lakes. That might be pretty. All right, very good. Advanced settings. We can turn on. Okay, so we can modify things however we'd like. So if we want to make it super, super easy, we can turn everything to Pioneer or Trailblazer or Vanquisher if we want to make things easier or more difficult. So if we want to have much more difficult invading enemies, but we also want a lot of starting resources so we can build a fort, we can do it that way. So extra resources, melodies, wildlife, and raiders. Very cool. Okay, well, let's go ahead and start on the largest size. Let's see how big the maps can get in the lowland lakes, and we'll just go with Trailblazer. Here we go. Oh man, here we are. Welcome to the lands of Raptoria, town center. We've finished scouting the surrounding area. Survey the land your villagers have explored and choose a promising site to construct your town center. It's important to choose a location that's near the resources you'll need to build a successful settlement. Things like clay, iron ore, and a potential food source. Oh, potential food sources. Oh, all right then. We're gonna have to be choosy. Well, there's iron ore for us right there. Looks like we have a gorgeous landscape here. Look at that beautiful rolling hills and such here along the shoreline, and a beautiful shoreline as well that kind of zips around. That's very nice. Now, it looks like the layout system is grid-based, but the landscape looking really lush, beautiful, and diverse. I really like the look of that. I think over here would be a good place to put our town hall, so let's get started with maybe building it right here. And it looks like, what is that over there? Some sort of, I'm not exactly sure what that is for a resource, but I'm not seeing anything typical of these games like berries or fish being marked, but it looks like there's a lot of stuff down here. There's fish. All right, perfect. Well, maybe we could do some fishing down there. Let's build near this forest so we can start building the town hall near it, and let's get started. Are you sure you want to build in this location? I sure am. And there comes our settlers. So they gathered around there after scouting, and now are starting to build the town hall. Awesome. Wow, and look at all the on-screen information. I've got to say, it immediately looks like Endzone: A World Apart to me, and definitely looks a little bit like Banished too. Love it, and I love how beautifully thick a lot of this grass looks. Look, there's bushes, there's grass, there's small trees and stuff everywhere, and there's then changes of the grass as you get closer to the shoreline, things like lavender and small bushes, and probably lilac and things all around. That's awesome. Games are starting to do that right, rather than just being bland old grass. Beautiful. All right, well, let's take a look here. Up in the upper left, we have a sickness meter. We also have age breakdown of our citizens, their happiness, and available food. And we have things like logs, firewood, planks, stone, clay, bricks, and gold income. Looks like we have a housing shortage and firewood is low. Well, we're just getting started, so that's to be expected. And look at that, a breakdown of the buildings. Amenities, housing, storage, food production, resources, defenses, walls and roads, and decorations. Ah, we can build things along roads too, like gates and different types of fencing too. And then defenses get their own things like barracks and lookout towers. Very nice. Decorations in the town too. Very, very good. Oh, harvesting resources. Resources like log or stone must be marked for harvest before laborers can collect them. The harvest menu can be enabled by toggling the button in the bottom right or by pressing the H key. Once the menu is open, click and drag to select resources for harvest, and hold shift to deselect resources for harvest. Okay, simple enough. Well, I guess they haven't been able to complete the town hall because there's a lack of resources, so we got to do that first. So before we can build all the houses and stuff, we need more resources. So let's start cutting down trees. Look, it's raining already. That's beautiful. Gorgeous. Oh, I thought those were rabbits. Oh, there's berries there. Okay. Well, let's tell our people to go gather those berries too. And then what's this resource over here? Eggs. Oh, there's like bird eggs over here, wild birds and such. There's nuts over there too. More berries. More berries. Oh, there's been deer sighted over here too, so perfect lands for hunting. And more berries and medicinal roots. Okay. And lots of stuff down here. Fish and herbs. Okay, we settled in a really nice spot between two lakes or a river down here. And look at how beautiful that lake was at the start. Well, that was weird. At the start, they surveyed the land and let us see everything, but now it's cloaked again. That's kind of strange, because they surveyed everything, and we know there's a mountain and stuff up here based on where we started. That's a little strange. Looks like there's also an ability to re-roll the map, so if you're not happy with the map that was generated based on your selection, you can just simply re-roll the map. So better than that would just be the option to be able to see what a map is before you fully select it. Let's build some more stuff here. Let's go with roads. Love how it has its own dedicated tab for it. Looks like it increases desirability. And are we going to get that standard road? Oh, look at that. We have diagonal and curved roads. That is amazing. Grid-based, but there are curved roads. That is not very common. Last time I've seen something like that was like SimCity 4, where you could build angled roads and they would curve based on where the 2 points were connected. But this we can make like a kind of a 90-degree turn if we want to, or we can like make diagonal roads going up the river or the lake. Look at that. That's awesome. Oh, man. All right, well, that is a blessing in disguise right there. Let's try to make a T intersection now, even though we made a curve. Be kind of cool to see. We'll have to build our homes down here. And looks like these are not insta-build, but someone will have to come out and start building it. Love the details on the people, that's for sure. And our Raptorians are busy, busy. Boy, it must suck to be here day one, but I mean, you know, can't build any homes without wood, so they got to get to cutting down stuff. Go ahead and clear this out here. Hopefully forests and things grow back. I certainly don't want to cut too far into the forests that have some good resources in them. Maybe we can gather stone, too. Maybe we have some pickaxes. We'll try that. And let's do this. If there's any berries to gather that we don't see that's nearby. Good. And now a beautiful day. The sun is out again. Gorgeous. Oh, we can manage walls, too, so we can actually click and drag to build those, maybe? Or to possibly upgrade them all at once, or destroy them, if we want to expand the city, for example. There are raiders. We can be attacked. There is military combat in this game, so that is something to be wary of. And actually, this could be a really good spot to defend. If enemies have to attack us, I'm not sure if they're going to do it along a shoreline, but we could probably build like some walls around here. I don't even know where they could come from. I think we picked a pretty good spot to build, though. You know, we don't want to build where the resources are. We want to build next to the resources so we can gather them. All right, looks like we've just finished the town hall. Looking beautiful, man. Love that. You can actually see the... Is it daub that they put between logs, or is that something else? I can't remember exactly. You'll have to remind me down below in the comments section. We have ourselves a shelter here. Quickly constructed home that provides basic shelter and will protect against the coldest temperatures when supplied with firewood. Oh! So there's certain times where homes can provide shelter without being too heated because of their insulation. All right, looks like it's going to take... I'm assuming that's not 20 workers to build, but like 20 labor hours, or like 20... Like, construction time is 20? All right, let's build here, too. Hopefully they move those trees. Let's just start with like 3 houses, and we'll see how many people could be housed there. Current number of workers assigned, 3 out of 4, and it takes 10 logs to build. Oh yeah, there you go, countdown timer. And since there's 2 people working, it looks like, at the same house, it's doing it twice as fast. Makes sense. Looking good. Alright, now how do we make some firewood? Let's go into the firewood menu. Maybe it's under amenities and services. Oh great, a graveyard. What a wonderful start. Things like marketplaces and healers' houses, trading posts, schools, pubs. Damn, what a well thought out game. This is perfect, man. Very nice polish here. Loving it. It's got really what I want from an Anno type game, a Banish type game, and a settlement survival type game too. It looks like it's going to be a challenge to actually build some of this stuff over time. Looks like we got a hunting cabin already too. Yeah, that's definitely something we want. Let's see, resources maybe. Basic well, there we are. Firewood splitter, that's what we're looking for. Let's build... we'll build it right here. This would be a nice spot right there, near the town hall, but away from the house. Okay, so yes, they're lacking a few resources here. Oh, I love the look and layout of the houses. Very nice. So they're all 3x3, but they all look a little different every time you put them down. Desirability is low too, but I would say it's at 100 because it's either that or the floor. So, you know, choose your own adventure there. Okay, I'm going to keep building a few more houses. Looks like we've got 12 out of 12 housing. So, villager count 12, housing count 12. So, I think we probably should build a few more. I'm not sure how people will arrive in this game. We must be able to have babies and such, too. If we have schools, that means children will be born, and then, of course, they could be educated to be more productive and gain more advanced skills. But perhaps there's ways where we could have migrants or other people trying to escape the old world to come and join us. All right, so firewood is working. Now, we got to assign some jobs here, so let's get to that then. Villager professions. Ooh, more people wish to join your settlement. Well, there you go. More people await word to join your settlement. Amass a 4-month supply of food and 6 houses. Oh, well, we're building 3 more already. And if we need to do food, then we better get started on... Oh, it looks like people are auto-assigned to jobs. That's good. We better get on gathering food then. So there were a few buildings that looked like they would be best. Food production. It looks like the hunter cabin is definitely one I want to do. Let's see. Oh, what is this? Trapping details. Oh, not only hunting, but trapping too. Let's see. Biome trees overlap water. Oh, does this give them... Wow, there's different animals that they can capture based on where you place it. So things like deer, looks like boar, wolves, bear, and I'm not sure what that last building is. Maybe it's just the hunting cabin itself. Oh, yeah. So it looks like it's better to put it in that thick forest. But there were deer sighted over here, too. But everything's pointing down. So it looks like here we can at least find boar inside this... Oh, yeah, there they are right there. I see them right there. So let's place the hunter's cabin here. And maybe we can put another one here. I don't see any more deer. But we'll start with boar. Okay, let's go for gathering, too. That might be a good idea to put that inside the... Yeah, forager will be able to find things... Oh, there's scurvy in the game, too. No way! That's awesome. Well, I mean, you know, it's not awesome, but it's awesome that we can prevent it. So we can gather resources like fruit to avoid scurvy and herbs used in medicines or the preparation of food. Okay. So we did find herbs over here. Looks like if we build there, there's 3 resources. That looks to be berries, roots, and possible, like ground things like perhaps like... Oh, whoa, there's more stuff down here. But it probably is like onions and beets and other things that grow in the ground wildly. Down here is a better option, though, for diversity. Looks like there could be... maybe they can gather reeds, perhaps? Boy, there's lots of options. Oh, this is going to be awesome to learn all this stuff. Love it. Okay, so firewood, lack of firewood, of course. So we got to keep on working on that. Oh, there's also travel time. So roads will matter in this game based on how long it takes for them to get to storage or to get to their job from their housing. Interesting. All right, well, let's build a storage site then right now. A stockyard and a storage cart. Going to require planks, though, so we'll need a sawmill or something for that. Yes, firewood is low. We'll build the storage yard, I guess, next to the fire pit then, or the firewood cutter. All right, so this is obstructed by a building. So hopefully they can then just easily cut the wood and then move it to this building here. And we better give the order to continuously cut wood. I don't really want to cut into that boar's natural habitat. We need that for food. Looks like we did give the order, though, to cut into it a little bit. Let's go ahead and stop that. And we'll cut out here instead. Assuming a lot of these small trees and such will regrow. And bushes might provide perhaps plant fibers or other things that we can build with. Maybe we can make rope out of that. All right, giving a lot of options now for cutting that down. Okay, so hopefully that'll provide a lot of the goods they need. Wow, look at how great that looks. You know, it's amazing how it reminds me of, like, I don't know, the Oregon Trail, more like the American Settlers 2 with how the landscape looks and all the wagons and such coming in, but it's not yet one particular area or time period. It's just olden times, pre-electricity. It could be, well, maybe pre-internet. It could be the 70s. Who knows? Oh, my God. It could be millions of years ago. All right, villager happiness is increasing. Wonderful. We have housing for 20. If we get more food, then we attract more of those settlers. That's great. Logs are immediately going towards construction of buildings such as the... Oh, that's probably why we don't have firewood, is because everything's going straight up to construction. But it has to, because we also need food. Food and firewood are going to be absolute requirement. Okay, we have water here. We have berries. God, there's stuff everywhere. Now, wait a minute. If there's berries here, I think we can gather those by hand. We don't necessarily need a forager, although that's somebody to do it full time. So, yeah, okay, we can give the order for more berries to be gathered here. Let's do, like, one large sweep of the land here, just to let anybody and everybody know they can gather berries. There we go. Okay, good. And what is this 5 number? Oh, it's months of food. Months of food in public storage is 5. Months of food lost to spoilage over the next 12 months, 1. So I did see in this game, too, by the way, that there is a lot of focus on food and spoiling in this game. For example, as it is in real life, if you were to have a wheat farm and you were to gather that grain and put it somewhere, it'll obviously last longer than flour, and flour will obviously last longer than bread. So you don't want to immediately make all of your grain into flour and then bread. You certainly want to store a lot of that too, especially for other crop failures as storage in between years. And additionally, there's also kind of like crops and plants and such that will survive in different types of climates better. For example, in less hospitable lands, orchards are much more, they flourish much better than, for example, grain crops. So the only problem with that is that they can't really last as long, so there needs to be ways to preserve more foods. So it does look like there are preservatives too, like vegetables and such. Looks like we can actually can berry jam. Looks like there's also pickles and some other things there too. And we can also dry, it looks like, fish and meat and such, or salt it too. There's eggs in there, and I see things like beans and carrots and mushrooms and leafy greens and such, so that's pretty cool. Looks like we're now in the middle of late summer. Wow, so it's already approaching winter. Oh my goodness. That's fast. It's already late summer, so we're going right into fall. My goodness. Okay, that's fast. All right, well, we need people cutting down trees ASAP. Let's see if there's a logger or something that we can make dedicated to cutting down trees now. Boy, I thought it was just going a little slower than that. That's speedy. All right, resources then. Basic well, firewood splitter. What do we need to unlock other things? Oh, 7 people have arrived at your village. They plan to immigrate. Would you accept them into your village or turn them away? Oh, we're going to accept them. We need more hands for sure. We're going to have a lot of jobs to be done. All right, let's see. What else do we have? Okay, so we just have the graveyard to start with. So how do we unlock these other things? Requires town center to be tier 2. So there are upgrades to the town center. So let's check that out. So we can toggle garrison. So if attackers come, we can hit the town center and signal everyone to return to their homes or get behind the walls once they're built. Looks like we can have a maximum population right now, or the requirement for upgrade is 30, so that's the maximum needed there. We need to also store 25 stone and have a market built and also 8 shelters. Okay, so there's a few things that need to be done before other buildings can be unlocked, and it's all based on population. A bustling market would help generate gold and attract new settlers to our growing town. Markets stock houses and generate gold based on the number of houses in their work area. So it's beneficial to put all your homes together and put a market nearby, so that way it's better for coverage. That also might be true of natural disasters such as fire. I'm assuming if we can be attacked and if there's wells in the game, there could also be fire, although it might just be for drinking water. Too many wells in one spot and lack of tree cover can cause the ground to dry out. Wow. We actually have to worry about over using the water table and such. Amazing. That's really cool. Okay, well, let's get started then by building the market if we can. Oh, it looks like we've now unlocked the saw pit too. To build the market, that could be under amenities and services. Food production. Oh, a smokehouse, so we can immediately start smoking and growing crops too. So we can smoke fish. Yep, forager shack already down, and a fishing shack too. We could build that down here. There are places to go fishing. Looks like we need to build it this way with the arrow pointing back towards... Wait, does the fisher shack... Oh, it doesn't need to be built on the water. It just needs to be built near the... Okay, so they don't necessarily use a dock. They just go to the shore. Okay. Sure, that sounds like a fine idea. Alright, well, let's face it this way then. And that'll be fine. Cool. I love this. I love this so much. This is one of the coolest building games I've seen, with a lot of stuff to gather and a lot of options for, you know, fishing or hunting. You're not going to always have all these resources in the same place, so that's really cool. And, you know, for example, we might not be able to get deer unless we go to the other side of the map, that type of thing. And look at that. It looks beautiful for the winter. All right, we're having shortage of water. Not everybody could basically go to the lake that we're next to, but it doesn't work that way. So resources. We're supposed to build a well under some trees or near the lake. Let's build it right here. That seems fine. We'll build that near the shoreline. Okay. Love the look of the buildings, too. There's so much to take in for a first look like this. The music, the immersion, details like, for example, leaves flying across the screen for fall, which is gorgeous. Obviously, the snow is going to do the same. Looks like we have ourselves some firewood. Our food storages are going down, so we got to get those numbers up. We're building the fishing hut. We have the hunter going. We have our forager going as well. Now, I'm assuming berries are probably gone for the season, right? Yeah, they're all empty, yep. So the berry season has ended. There's willow over here that we can get. Boars, it looks like, are still plentiful. Mushrooms and nuts are now plentiful because of the season. So let's do another gather over here. Try to make it through our first winter. All the other buildings here, barns for storage, windmills, apothecary, cheese makers. Jeez, man, there's a ton of stuff here. Now, one of the goals of this game, too, is towards the end game to get more advanced things to make, like, for example, things like probably glass eventually. Yeah, glass maker. So these are things where we can make glass jars and glasses and other things like that to sell, so we can actually trade with other cities that are on the map. Can't really see them, but you know, you got to kind of know they're there. We could probably make horseshoes, so we have charcoal kilns and an armory. We could probably make you know, a blacksmith, then form tools and things like that to sell, or possibly import stuff too. I wonder where the wagon goes. Can we actually move that? No, it just parks right there. Oh wait, storage cart. Ah, so this is a temporary storage building for us until we've got the stockyard filled up as well. So it looks like we're storing wood there too. So it's a good idea to put your storage yard near where maybe you're doing logging or mining or something like that, so your people don't have to walk as far. Alright, firewood's low again, so we should make the order to cut trees then. Sorry, eggs. We're going to have to let you go. We need firewood. So for a first look, we're now starting to see how quickly time passes. We're starting to see how much wood and firewood are needed to survive the winters. Every game is different. For example, in Banished, at a certain point, you know that firewood is such a valuable trading resource. Oh man, look at that. Lookout towers. This will probably protect us from animal attacks during the course of the building of the city before we've constructed walls. We can build some storage carts too, but we'll need a saw pit for that, so let's do that. So many things to build, like I don't know where to start. I love it. Oh, and there's an in and output too for the sawmill. Great. I will build that over there too. Hopefully we can get a building that can actually grow trees again, because otherwise we're going to run out. But it looks like they grow back pretty quickly. But I would like to expand and start cutting trees down in the back there. But our people are cutting down as much as they can. Trying to leave as much area for the boars alone. I'm not sure how close I can get before I damage that habitat, and I don't want to do that. I want them to flourish so we can do the same. Alright, well, in the interest of surviving winter, I'm going to give the order to clear cut that forest there. Greens are over here too. Love the diversity of the diet in these games. It's really nice that instead of just providing everybody with meat all the time, that there is a concern for nutrition where everybody needs protein, so, you know, meat and fish, and then, of course, fruit and berries and nuts and all those other things can give different types of nourishment to your people. I love that road there. Look at that. That's going to be awesome. How it branches out like that. That's so cool. I want to give the order to this stock thingy to move around. Can I actually move it? I can move it. Sweet. So we can actually put storage near other buildings too. So we could have one in town for things to be brought in from the north, but also we can move the wagon somewhere else. That's great. So if we need to, we can bring the wagon down here. And there it goes. Awesome. So we can bring the wagon down to where the forager and the fishing shack are. And then they can just easily store their resources there. Fantastic. All right, firewood is low again. We're at 30. All the house. Look at the smoke. That is gorgeous. Details are so awesome. Oftentimes people will mention graphics, but I don't think they really mention all the things that might go into that. For me, it's not necessarily graphics as a catch-all term. It's more all these little things that can make a big difference. Like, for example, every once in a while you'll see a flock of birds fly over in that, you know, familiar triangular pattern. And then you'll see the shadow on the ground. You see leaves blowing around, all the different types of grass near the shoreline of different height and thickness. And trees that are down, even though we've cut that down. I think there's also down trees in the forest that'll just lay there naturally as they're dead. And also trees that are dead standing, like, for example, these trees here. Great. Just great. Just great. Absolutely great. Love it. Absolutely love it. This is definitely going to be a game that's going to have a very late end game, I could tell. And it's going to be really cool to trade all those things. All right, well, we've got... Oh, looks like we're increasing our food now. We went from 1 to 2. Fish now up to 42. Meats at 44. Build a smokehouse for preservation 2. We have yet to get a forager up over here for nuts and berries, so let's do that. And we're also build. Oh, we have a Fletcher building, which will make arrows, right? Oh, yeah. Crafts bows and arrows for use in hunting or defense in the village. Oh, really? Can the hunter not hunt without... Or maybe he's just trapping for now. Well, he is producing items. But it'll make them a lot more productive if we give them the tools to succeed. Oh, that's great. Well, we can also upgrade the building. Retarget work. Oh, yeah, okay, so we can actually change the work area for buildings, too. So we don't always necessarily need to build the building next to the resource, but it's a good idea to reduce the walking time. That's awesome. There's our person cutting wood. Good job. And we're starting to enter early winter now. Early winter year 1. Extreme cold temp and a strong breeze. Oh, boy. Oh, this is awesome. Compost yard. Wow, we can make fertilizer and stuff, too? There's an incredible amount of technology here. This is great. I can't believe all the different buildings that we're allowed to build in order to make such a difference. Instead of just building more and more, we build smart by taking advantage of all the resources and knowledge that we have. That's great. Love the look of the buildings. Love the animations at all the buildings, too. It's one of the things I really loved about Stronghold from long ago is when you clicked on the buildings, you could see people working, or in a lot of the buildings that didn't always have, you know, 4 walls, like a blacksmith or like a Fletcher, you could actually see somebody working on bows and such by just looking at the building. That's amazing. Winter is here. Will we survive? We will see. Our first attempt. I feel like we should build a couple more homes so we can get working on the up... Oh, I heard wolves. Ooh, do animals get more aggressive in the winter? We will see. Let's build some more homes so we can get more settlers in the village. With more settlers, we can then upgrade our town hall, which will unlock more stuff for us eventually, too. And that'll be a good thing. Let's build a road up this way. Cool. And our wagons over there. I don't think we need to feed the oxen or anything. I think, yeah, it just serves as a place to store goods. That's so damn cool, man. It would be cool if we also had to do supply chains where we could use carts and wagons that way. There is carts too, by the way, so let's build one. That will help for storage. We could just place that anywhere and people will use it, or how does that work? Let's see. Serves as a place to store goods produced by the settlement. Okay, so it's a small-scale storage. We have a root cellar too, so that'll be great for preserving food, and a storehouse for all different types of items. And a stockyard, materials, log, stone, and planks. Yeah, good thing we built that here, right? Logs to come in and then planks to be shipped right across, and then the forest right there. That was a good move. Wow. Oh, looks like we can plant trees too, but that's for decoration, yeah. It'll cost us wood to do. Alright, houses are being built. Looks like we can do tier 2 homes. I'm sure there's more than just these 2 tiers, for sure. Because I'm sure we can upgrade our town hall more than that. Alright, let's go to our job board and see how everybody's doing. So we've got 12 people who are laborers. So these 12 people are essentially like, they could do like construction if we need them to. It looks like we have 4 people assigned to building now. I think that's a good number. So it looks like they'll do things like perhaps bringing things to construction sites or building roads, maybe at random. Every game's a little different as to whether a builder is dedicated solely to building, or if they, on occasion, can randomly go do a road or randomly go move materials to a construction site. So we'll have to learn that. All right, food stocks are low, my liege. Food stocks are too low, sire. It's late winter, though. We might pull off a win, damn it. Despite us not knowing what we're doing the first time. This is exciting, by the way. When you get into a new game like this, you just never know what's going to wait for you. What could be waiting? How are we going to be attacked? When will we be attacked? How frequently? How quickly winter works? What resources are most important? All right, let's build a fishing dock over here. Looks like fishing can take place in the winter still. Okay, he must have cut like a hole in the ice. I see the fishermen working there. So buildings like that can work in the winter. And we'll build another fishing shack here, and we'll just change the work area to cover both of those fishing spots. Good. We got our well working. I don't think that'll ever run out of water if it's next to that. Storage is 182. It must slowly tick up when the water is unfrozen. 75 firewood, so we certainly made enough of that. Nice. Now we got to start working on clay. I'm not liking hearing these wolves all the time. Leave me alone, sir. So tier 3 buildings, yeah. Apothecary. So that's for medicines, cheesemaker, bakeries, windmills, barns. We should get on that market now. I think the first priority I wanted to do was make sure we made it through the winter. It looks like we're doing okay there. Let's find out where the marketplace is then. So the market is here. It will require a saw pit and a storehouse to be built. Okay. We have to build a storehouse now too. So that stores finished goods as well. So maybe we'll do industry stuff up here. So we'll keep some of the raw resources nearby, and then we'll do industry up over on this side. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, a W in the comment section. Ah, yes, the big dub. We pulled off a survival in our first winter. Beautiful. New year. Congratulations, everybody. We made it. Oh, and they're actually... Oh, there's actually like prayers and stuff for the new year. Food stocks are definitely low, yep. But now that it's spring, we can get everybody on foraging. So let's definitely do all the berry gathering that we can. Everybody make sure we've got all the berries locked in, yep. We're doing the fishing too, good. We got somebody over here oh, we can actually increase the priorities for buildings by increasing the number of assigned workers. Oh, that's cool. Instead of increasing priority, you just increase the number of workers dedicated to a specific building. That I like. That way, you know, if you're building a large church or something, you can dedicate a larger workforce to that. And then if you're building houses, you can just tell one person to work on it whenever. It looks like things are Hunters haven't found any game for a while. Consider moving the grounds to a new location. Okay. So now let's move that over here. And let's try deer. Those have been spotted. And rabbits, too, it looks like. Maybe they can do some trapping. All right, so that's a good idea to move those around. And I want to do a forager over here, too, because we did find nuts, berries, and then there are eggs, too, during this summer. Or spring. Let's go for Forage Shack. Dude, this is fantastic. I'm very thrilled with this. This really feels like something completely new and yet familiar at the same time. And I love all these other Banished type games. A lot of people mention, oh, Banished clone or, you know, this clone or that clone. But honestly, a lot of the basics of gathering wood, stone, building shelter, and firewood, those are required no matter what. That's just the name of survival on Earth, right? To stay warm and to feed yourselves and to gather protein and such. No matter what, that's always the same. But it's great to see games improve upon diversity in terms of like, okay, you need food, but now you need food that's of different types of nature. You need different, you know, fruits and vegetables and proteins and such. A game that did survival really well was Dawn of Man. And it was so different from most games. The Caveman City Builder survival game, where you had to not only worry about food and warmth and, of course, defending against attackers, but you also had to worry about advancing into next ages and taking advantage of new technology that never was available before. Things like, for example, going from no walls to wooden walls to then stone walls to then making swords of iron and then finally steel, of course, after working your way through the Bronze Age. So it's really cool to see more and more games increasing their complexity and players being more and more familiar with how to manage the basics of these challenges. So that way we can get into more advanced like survival techniques and such of gathering so many different materials. A game that does that well too is Ostriv, which is kind of the 1700s survival city builder based in like Ukraine, you know, Eastern Europe. And what's cool about that one is everything that you use to build a house has to be gathered. Clay, logs have to be turned into wood, and then, of course, you need to make nails, which means iron needs to be crafted into nails at a smithy. Real cool stuff. I just saw our hunter here fire off a... oh, look, he must have got a deer here. Yeah, a carcass. Carcass of a dead animal. That's got to be a deer, I think. But yeah, perfect. So now we're gathering meat too. So very, very close on the food, but we're getting it done. I love it. I can't tell you how thrilled I am with this game and what the how exciting it's going to be to go to the end game. And as always, I would encourage everybody, after you subscribe and turn on the notification bell, to know that we're going to be live streaming this game too, and probably doing more videos on it as well, as the game just has, there is just too much content here to cover in just 1 or 2 videos. So there's going to have to be a lot of stuff here. Let's try to build a farm field now. Looks like we can actually see the fertility, but of what though? Oh, so, oh, look at, you can actually see soil mixture? No way, dude. Fertility and soil mixture? I wonder if we have to worry about irrigation and stuff. Oh, you can see fertility is like 70 over here. I don't want to bother our land with the deers. This one's a little closer to town, so let's start with maybe a... Is there a minimum size? Oh, it's got to be a minimum of 5 by 5, I think. Yes. Minimum field size of 5 by 5. So let's build that a little closer to the well. Boom. And then, wow, it's going to take 1,152 like labor hours to clear that, or whatever. I love how there's a number like that it ticks down telling you how long it's going to take to construct. I don't know, that's just really cool. Because oftentimes it's kind of unknown, and you just got to kind of like get a feel for how long it takes to build a house of different types of complexity. All right, I'll have to see what crops we have access to at the start. And of course, certain fields, like for example, a grain field might have to be a little bigger than, like for example, a garden for carrots or something like that. Oh, this looks so medieval. I love it. Although I don't feel like it's medieval either, especially when we have the option to go up to more modern-looking buildings made out of clay bricks. Medieval stuff was mostly made of stone and or just wood. There was some brick making, of course, and a lot of things made from clay, but wasn't really until like the 17 and especially 1800s when massive structures were being made with that. All right. Oh, medicinal roots over here too. Very nice. Gathering that stuff as well. Yeah, okay, so we're going to have to get a feel to know how important greens are, or herbs versus medicinal roots versus fishing and such. Our number is still holding strong at 1. I want that number to be up, though. All right, let's redirect the fishing area there. Okay, so now we got 2 fishing docks going. We got our hunter working on gathering deer. We got another forger forging everything they can inside the forest. I wonder if there's a way to make this catch area larger. Looks like they can gather mushrooms, nuts, and eggs from there. So yeah, you're going to have to make a number of buildings. Love how they're easy to make, though, so it looks like there's a lot going on. And how many people are employed here? 1? Okay, so we can't do any more workers, but perhaps we can upgrade. All right, food went from 1 to 2, so we're definitely gathering a lot more food now. And I think all the other work has been complete. Take a look now at our free labor pool, down to 10. Let's increase the number of workers to... Let's do 8 for builders. Hopefully that takes some of the laborers over. And then we'll try to turn them into farmers, too. This house is a little short on water. Okay, back to the marketplace. We did build that storehouse now, so we should be able to finally build that and gather gold as they recommended. So that is under... then amenities and services. Market, yep, we can finally build that. Phenomenal! Oh, and that might increase the... yes! Desirability increases based on where we build our marketplace. Beautiful. Build it just like that. Great. Alright, one thing I really want to see in this game is, you know, I love how it feels like we're such a village right now, and I want to see how we can go from a village to, like, for example, a bustling town of artisans where everything's made of stone. You have the Tudor type style buildings, or something more advanced looking like it's made out of, you know, there's like daub on buildings and things like that, and more advanced structures being constructed. Oh, wonderful, our first new villager. Oh my god, yes. Our first little baby Raptorian. Aw, that's beautiful. And people are immigrating to the village as well. Beautiful. Oh, that's wonderful. Yes, yes, please move in. We've got plenty of jobs. And we're going to need a lot of people working at that farm. Love that. They're actually tilling out the land, cultivating, clearing it, doing all the things that need to be done to make it a farm field. Although I only see one person there. So do we need to make somebody a farmer instead? I think that was going to be construction first, but let's check to see. Forager, fisherman, farmer. Oh, we only have one. Oh, so they don't necessarily need construction. A farmer has to build the field themselves. Okay, so that's a good thing to know. That builders cannot build a farm field. A farmer has to come out and do that. So since we're starting in early spring, it'll probably be a little too late to plant anything this year. Uh-oh. And now we've got a quote-unquote disaster coming. The winds have died down and a period of sweltering heat has set in that could last for weeks. Ensure you have an adequate water supply. Yeah, that definitely reminds me of like End Zone and Surviving the Aftermath too, where changing weather can be devastating to crops and people and animals alike. There must be some sort of husbandry in this game too. Let's take a look. Do we have chicken coops or... Oh, barns probably where we're... Yeah, there we go. Cattle can be raised for food, hides, milk, cattle. Okay, so it looks like we can get... Yeah, meat, hides, and milk from the little barn. I don't see an option for chicken coops anywhere, though. Smokehouse. Might be good for the winter. Smoking some of our fish. Yes, of course, that'll negatively affect the desirability, so good thing we plan to build our industry up here. So yeah, that's definitely a good thing. So one of the things you don't see in Anno 1800 and a lot of other games is, you're trying to build an economic powerhouse, but you also want to do things where it looks nice. That's always a challenge in these games, to make something that looks beautiful, but also that functions. Beauty and functionality are, well, I guess beautiful in their own ways. And, of course, can motivate people, and since happiness is important for child rearing and whatnot, that's something we want to focus on. At least everybody's very, very happy. For now, though, keep in mind we can still be attacked. Combat effectiveness. Oh, happiness actually affects your effectiveness in combat. That's amazing. So happiness affects birth rate, combat effectiveness, immigration rate, and the work rate, too, of construction of new buildings, and also probably production at actual facilities, too. All right, well, that's something to keep in mind. All right, we need some more stone here. We're down to 11. We also need to start gathering clay, and I don't think there's an option to do that without a building for it. We'll have to find a clay pit or something that we can construct. Might be a little later in the game that we need that, or can build that. All right, let's definitely gather all the stone. Okay, anybody and everybody who's free, yeah, go ahead and gather materials. Saving game, that's why we're seeing a little bit of the hang-ups every once in a while. All right, the marketplace, once constructed, should also start to build or make gold for us, so we should be able to start maybe meeting with a trader when they come through. Love the option. There's also terraforming in the game. Yeah, there's the option to level out some of the landscape around here, too. So if we wanted to for a farm field or something, we could make it completely flat. That's awesome. Wow, the 5x5 field, minimum size field, taking a very long time to do that. If you start the game immediately with farming, you're probably not going to be able to do it until next spring. The first year is going to have to be fishing, hunting, trapping, and foraging, for sure. As well as relying a little bit on what you may have in storage. Wow, look at the resources. This is great, man. Just another awesome city builder. This is top tier right here. Just the amount of different things that you can construct. I love it in a game when it starts out like in Banished, where for the first few years it's all about survival, and survival is questionable. You could be, you could run out of food, you could mismanage things, and things can go south very quickly. The weather or natural disasters could take you out, or perhaps animal attacks like wolves and bears. But on top of all of that, we also need to manage the fact that we could be attacked by raiders. So it's very much Dawn of Man that way, too. We'll have to see how that plays out, since we have the ability to manage walls and build fencing and other things. Although I would say that the walls here, the basic fences, are kind of more for decorative stuff. And yeah, it keeps animals away from crops or predators. So we will actually have to fence our animals in. So if we build a barn, we'll have to make sure we fence it in either with a fieldstone wall or a fence, and then build a gate too. And then tier 2 is palisades and different types of gates for our town. And it looks like we can also make a cobbled road, so that is confirmed that we can do road upgrades. And it also, of course, upgrades our speed and probably desirability for people in the town too. And I would imagine the more and more that our city grows, the more and more their needs will grow too. And so with the increased requirements, their happiness will be more sway a lot faster if something goes wrong, you know. All right, another great thing to do, I think, is going to be to improve the water over here. Whoever this is not getting water on this side. Is it, I always forget where that is. Resources? Yeah. All right, let's build a well over here then. Water bonus 63, 4%, 5. We'll build it over here. I'm going to go ahead and cancel the cutting down of these trees. Looks like we got most things sorted. But please still gather berries and stone. So interesting how we have to keep some land with trees on it in order to keep water around. Makes sense. Food stocks are low. Whoa, we had 7 months a minute ago. What happened? Did we get robbed? Food lost to spoilage, 90 berries. Oh, okay, so it was all the massive amount of food that we had was actually just berries. So we're going to have to definitely make that smokehouse then to make sure we don't lose the meat. That's going to be a good thing to smoke. And maybe a bakery to make pies in the future. Could be cool. All right, so now we got to worry about preservation. Food production, not a problem. Yeah, so we got 1 smoker down. I think we should probably do 2, honestly. We don't want to lose any meat to... any meat or fish to spoilage. Especially since we're gathering so much. We got roots and stuff over there. All right, let's build some more foragers. Want to definitely make sure we put those together. So it looks like it's a good idea to build a forager next to a hunting building and also a fishing building because there's different resources on the shores. So that's important. All right, let's finish up our roads then to some of these locations now that we have a little bit more time. We can build some roads down here. Just phenomenal. Music is great. The landscape is beautiful. The details on the map of like just pollen and things blowing around and leaves and snow. Very immersive in its sounds, very immersive in its layout. It's like all the other games I've seen before. So the things that I want to see are definitely present, but I'm starting to see new things I haven't seen before and things that I wanted from other games being brought here too. So it's just a delight. What a delight. Let's build this like this, maybe. That's fine. Roads are cheap to build. They'll just be expensive to upgrade. And I don't think we need roads to all the buildings in the forest, but it helps. Close enough there. What's the problem with this well? The well is run dry. Build more... What? Told me it was a bonus. That's fine. Alright, very impressive this game, I've got to say, folks, and I want to play more of this one. So thank you very much, everybody, for tuning in to the farthest reaching frontier of Raptoria. You guys can check this game out again on Steam, and the link's down below in the description, and please do subscribe because we will be playing a lot more of this game, and this will simply be part 1 of a multi-part series, as well as some live streams to showcase more of the game. I have so much more to learn, but I've thoroughly enjoyed this first look, and I hope you have as well. Thanks again for tuning in. Thank you very much for supporting, and I'll see you all next time for yet another winter. Soon.